initiator. So you kind of have, you take some and you gain some. For the side of NRG, they're going to have a little bit more information gathering. They're going to have more flashes to work with. On the side of Immortals, you have more entry potential. You can have that operator in the safe hands of JC Stani. You can have Shot being that second support, getting those frags behind JC Stani. So who knows what could happen? The edge definitely comes down to who is going to be clicking more. Does the double initiator work, or does the double duelist work?
Well, here we go, folks. The road to Reykjavik continues here for one of these teams. As NRG and Immortals face off here in map number 1 in a BO3 for winner semis. Early on, we see NRG on that default.
Right, so look at this and what NRG have done. They've set up that Viper wall, even thrown in Owl Drone. So everything right now is a tell that this is going to have to be a B-head. You can see Immortals have pulled out so heavily. Again, they still have that Viper that they can use to kind of give them a little bit more time, cause some damage as they try and get the retake going. But for now, NRG have just been walking their way all the way up, and it's just Rossi here in the rafters.
I do like this Viper wall setup. It's essentially just a gauntlet. You walk through. There could be anyone behind it. But Tex walks through, places up the sage wall to cover up the rotation, and finally get that plant back. Has to heal. Nice shock dart, well placed. And it's going to be a 5v5 to start off our game. We have 4 players from NRG fighting up close. The lineups from Dap slowly being taken up as he watches up the cross. Immortal still in that back line. Now you have Gangsta lining up a couple of shots, but not going to be able to hit anything. Tex actually wants to push out this situation. JC Stani tapping away, going to be able to get 2-man advantage. Now for the team of Immortals. JC Stani is still going big, missing out on a couple of bullets from the side. Rossi gets the kill back. Daps is now the last one remaining in a 1v2. Walks through, tries to get a right click, but the defuse will go through. Immortals for the round 1 dub.
Ooh, you can see that combination, that versatility when it comes to the Viper wall post play. That setup thrown by Rossi at the very beginning of the round locks those players out of sight. So if you are NRG and you're in that post lane, you've got to make a decision. Do you want to play in front of the wall in this site, or do you want to back away and try and play it safe where things maybe aren't as claustrophobic? And we saw the attempts from NRG when it came to trying to swing through that Viper wall. You take that instant 50 HP, and that's such a huge leg up for the side of Immortals. They pick up the round nice and cleanly on the post lane. JC Stani coming up clutch. He's going to pick up the Vandal, and NRG are going to have to find themselves with pistols.
This one should just be a little bit more cut and dry. Again, those Spectres can just farm up stats. And Immortals have fully anticipated this. 3 players over on site. Do like the Viper wall lineup. Almost a one-way. Tex does open up with a frag onto Rossi off the trade from Android. And they battle for the orb. That's well done, especially on the sky. An ult orb collects up quick. Shot up in Gangsta, still collecting up frags. NRG want a little bit more for that economic damage. Gangsta on the backside, though, collecting up on a kill into orb, and Shot up finishes it off. Only 1 kill going back towards the side of NRG. This next one's going to get good, though. Rifles in the hands of NRG as we go into the Immortals bonus.
So far, very clean for both sides. Obviously, we didn't expect much there from NRG. They did get the ult orb, which is obviously going to be a nice bonus. You get onto that sky, that information gathering with the Seekers is going to be so useful. Maybe you want it on the Sage, who knows, but Sam is going to be the one that has the Seekers moving forward. Immortals, it's a very nice clean. If you keep 4 players alive, only 1 reinvestment needs to be made, and it's not a major one here. They are, again, Immortals looking to try and bonus here. Get that economy rolling on the defensive side of Icebox, where it can be so hard in these later rounds if you're up against the rifles to keep that credit ball going.
Yeah, there goes that early guiding light. Sam again, he's going to be using that guiding light just to show some initial pressure over towards A main. This is quite the constant for NRG.
Wow.
There's no one early over towards B main, though, but they have thrown it off just right as they start to make a B main approach.
Okay, so Chemicals has thrown up a fake wall and decided to try and cheat through it. They hear the sound cue.
That's big.
NRG, and he's going to push all the way through. So as soon as this B hit comes in, he's going to offer instant support, but that's if he can win his fight against Android here towards mid.
Android wants to maintain it. Actually, someone that likes to play that default position is actually Daps, but this time it's Android, and Android needs to win it. But it's the Sheriff from Chemicals that gives his team a man advantage, and the spike is not going to go down. Instead, it's going to get killed. Dex goes down in a heap from the shot from JC Stani. That Viper wall grouped up with a recon bolt. Could have been big. But Rossi around the corner in a cheeky spot, going to be able to take down 1. Still Daps and Sam. Last 2 remaining. This has gone all sorts of wrong.
Oh, this is such a crazy flip. I mean, NRG, you had the guns, but Immortals, they had map control. We saw a very early push from JC Stani down towards A to get that immediate control. And then Chemicals, there for such a quick rotate, cheating through that tube to get the info that players are rotating. I mean, Immortals, they had a perfect read going in NRG with these last two players. The goal has got to be to try and stay alive. If not, go down, get the loss bonus. But Immortals, this is going to be such a big up to their economy now winning this bonus.
Uh-oh, Sam wants to go big, walks right through the Viper wall, takes down Rossi, takes down Gangsta, and this could lead for a lane, at least to get that spike down. Chemicals getting the kill, Daps has to get ready, get your rifle out, buddy, it's gonna get spicy. 1v2 for Daps, and he still has a couple of SMGs and a Sheriff to work against, but shot off from up top, takes him down. Immortals win out their bonus. This is massive for IMT.
Oh man, Shot Up is already heating up, dude. So far, I think every single kill has come from a Sheriff. The dude is on fire right now. Jen, we're only started, man. If your Sheriff is going to hit like that, imagine what he's going to do when it comes down to the actual rifles. But yeah, Immortals winning that bonus, being able to carry 2 rifles over. Look at this. You can get JC stunning that up just in the second round. So NRG, it was an almost a round they almost recovered, right? They ended up getting the 2 kills. They got the spike down. Not everything is doom and gloom just yet. They're only a couple charges off with certain ults. Daps one off of his. Som has got the Seekers online, but with a 3-0 start once more, NRG, they're gonna have to work with whatever they can muster, and it looks like they've actually gone for a pretty heavy force.
Do they have double marshals?
Yeah.
A little bit tough of a decision. They want to fight up that elevated side, and both marshals go down in heaven. Android in a good spot from Pipes. It's with a tag onto the angle, JC Stanny. Still have that orb right in the mid side, but Android's going to give out that battle, but Shot Up doesn't exactly want to let his prey escape. Android playing ring around the Rosie while his teammates have rotated to B already.
Yeah, the whole point of that was just to have those 3 players kind of be a distraction, but you know, with this Viper util, it's going to be rough. Tex is on 17 HP, even with the decay starting to fade. It's a very nice clean round from Immortals. Once more, only losing 1 player. Yes, JC Stun is the one to fall, but they pick up the op from Gangsta. He's going to pass that back on over. So Immortals, they really didn't lose anything in that round. They've got great economy at the moment, and NRG was just an eco, so now they've got the rifles back. Things need to change. Immortals, both Shot Up and JC Stunny, are being so good at getting aggressive and getting early map control for their team.
Exactly what Immortals really needed in terms of economy too. They can just start to build up slowly. Most of their players at around the 4K, 5K setup. It's going to take about 2.5 rounds to about 3 rounds to really get a hard reset on the squad. Puts them in a great position for the rest of the half. But let's see the setup for at least Immortals' defense. They want to stick up 2 towards that A side. Still that same Viper wall. And the NRG's coming up quick.
NRG, but this wall is messing them up so much. Look at the damage that's been done. Shot Up, he can literally just farm in the back side. Gangsta is able to find another as well. Shot Up is just locking it down here on the left, and NRG are falling on all fronts here on the A site.
It's just a clean sweep for Immortals once again. Daps taking up 1. Chemicals and Rossi gonna finish it off. Having their stamp of approval. And there goes another one.
Yeah.
Energy has been reset for the 2nd time.
Minimal casualties from Immortals as well. They really aren't losing anything right now, right? Their economy is perfect. That last round, only losing 1 player as well. So NRG, it's not looking too hard for them at the moment. I won't even lie, right? That Viper wall definitely messes them up on that execution. Rossi throws it up at the perfect moment so that when NRG starts to walk through, again, Shot Up, those players losing 50 HP. It is so easy for him to get 1 kill, dismiss, or overheal if he needs to. That NRG, they're kind of walking in blind. They're back again to an eco, like you said, 4 Sheriffs and a Vandal. An instant B main control coming out here by Immortals.
Immortals still staying relatively disciplined, except for JC Stanny. Like that little tick down that he does, slowly aiming down, focusing on that back B main area. Still nothing of the sort. This is the 2nd step of the flowchart though. NRG now has full B control. Rossi is actually going to win his battle on the mid side, but JC Stanny tries to jump into the battle. I'm not going to be able to find anything. Chemicals with an immediate shutdown, and actually finds 2. Android and EU, the last 2 remaining. So that spike plank going down is massive.
Yeah, pretty basic round, but you can see that NRG.
Experience showstopper.
Yeah, I was gonna say they get all 5 ultimates online, but I don't know if you really want to use this. Android, okay, now he's pulled out the showstopper. Now he's got another, and now this is winnable.
He's still going. Chemicals on the defuse. Android has the peek, but Gangsta has the angle, and it's the fuse. NRG's biggest chance thus far, or at least biggest fight to get around back in their favor. Just get shut down off of a defuse behind the wall. Good counter, Sage.
Cool. Chemicals saving that wall as well for that post plant. He understood that, you know, things might get dicey here. We might need to use this post plant or the Sage wall for the post plant. He gets it perfectly timed as well. It looked really good for NRG. Android hitting that dink in the back, then finishing it off. Pulls out the showstopper. It was really winnable there for a second, but Immortals, they do pick up a 6-0 start. NRG, they've got the buyback, but it hasn't really amounted to much so far. Again, shot up, and JC Stunny are going to get aggressive. Stunny missing his shot allows Android a little bit more space, and this is the first time that really NRG have had no map control in these extremities.
It's the same default, and again, Daps is back to watching over that mid sign. That does give him a little bit of a leg up in terms of util control, whatever his teammates needs. He's kind of launched them at his own will, but for now, Immortals, oh, they've actually bitten the bait a little bit. This little shift towards that A sign. There's only one on B.
Yeah. But Rossi, again, has kind of been playing this retake area. I mean, they've got ultimates as well. As soon as he feels contact, he's going to toss down that Viper's Pit right where he stands, or possibly a little bit more forward, get a little bit more control of that site. They have the revive. They're only one off of that Hunter's Fury, so if Gangsta can get a kill here, or maybe get the ult orb if it hasn't already been grabbed on A, there's a chance that this plant really can't even go down. And yeah, they all go out. Snake bites and everything. Yes, the Seekers are down, but Rossi, he's looking for a lot of control right now in the front of A.
Oh, Rossi with a big peek. So going down in terms of HP, but he's still living. Saw him with a quick shot back. Oh, onto JC standing, but Daps with a snake bite. Chemical still with a go back. Still a 2-on. Okay, still 2-on-1. Shot up. Last person remaining now in a 1v2. He can thrive in these sort of scenarios. Good eye toward that back line. Domain expansion. In goes that Viper's Pit, but EU from midair. Taking out, shot up like a clay pigeon, and it's all good. NRG, they land into a first round.
Just about time as well, NRG. That was a round that would have broken you, I think, for the rest of this game. Immortals not able to get the retake. I really thought Rossi, as soon as he got that kill, or at least converted it, would have thrown down that Viper's Pit and made it so much more crowded on the site for NRG, but elects to hold on to it. So Immortals, they concede there first, but once more, the amount of players that they've lost, or with the minimal amount of players that they've lost, they're going to have a very strong buy regardless of the outcome of, I think, this next round. So NRG, it's all about continuing to go off that momentum. This is still a really recoverable half. It's only 6-1. You can maybe tie things up here at the half line.
So NRG, in terms of Icebox, does have fairly deadly defensive side statistically. 58% rounds, at least on the defensive side, whenever they do end up winning. So not all that bad, but even then, this is only the basis. This is only the start. NRG playing discipline towards that back line. Nice quick contact peek. At least opens up the fact that the default is going. Again, Daps being in the mid side is just the one telling factor.
This is interesting as well from NRGs, that they're playing really slow. They haven't thrown any util down, at least in the form of Daps. There goes the wall. So now this should be kind of an idea that the lean is coming towards this A side. The Viper wall goes up, but Shotup has got a pretty clear view. You can see right over it, but JC Stoney, he's going to shut it down.
Whoa!
No! Tex, what a huge shot onto the player in the back of B.
Okay, for JC Stanny, those are the ones that he wants to hit.
30 seconds left.
This is the one that he hates usually. Very uncharacteristic. Now the spike is going to double back all the way from the A site. The B site, for now, seems like it's theirs. Immortals would double back towards their own spawn. One in mid.
Oh, man. You really need Sam to come alive here. He's got to cut everything off. They shouldn't know about his positioning.
Look at shot up. Look at shot up.
Shot up. You might deny it. Oh, yes.
Yep.
Now they've got control. They've got 2 retake positions, and they've got the revive up.
Yep, man advantage back in their favor. Now everyone from NRG just sitting back towards main. And yes, Hunter's Fury is there. Daps is actually wrapping back towards main. That's a great spot. There goes that lineup with the nade. Still has to cover up that front side. Oh no, Android taking on a headshot. Daps on that mid flank. EU finally getting a kill off the Hunter's Fury. Chemical still going for the defuse. Good snake bite. Well done off the flank. EU still has to go for it. JC standing missing out of the shot. Wide swing from EU. Might it delay time? No, it will not. It goes down to half. And Immortals, They crossed the line for a 7-1 lead over NRG.
Oh, that's crazy. The man that goes down first, the man that almost lost, that could have nearly lost the round because he missed his shot, is the one that saves the round. He sticks it, gets the revive from Chemicals, and Immortals, they do pick it up. NRG, that was the round you needed to maybe bring down the economy again of Immortals. Yes, they're starting to hurt. Their pockets are starting to run a little bit dry here, but NRG, it's the same thing. This is such a rough buy, and I think going forward, it looks like Immortals, they could easily run away with this half with just this round.
Essentially so. Already getting rough. They already have the lead going into second half, and this is beautiful.
Wow,
Viper's pit early on into B main, and it's just gonna give Rossi all of this control.
Yeah, that's apparently what he wanted to do, is just get that control and take B main. So that forces NRG to go completely to the safe side, and JC Stani is gonna take the first one out.
So a quick angle. He's still up on top of rafters. Rossi has completely abandoned his Viper's pit. It's going down a half a little bit. They don't anticipate the flank at all. They isolate the spike. They isolate the spike. There's nobody else from Immortals, or I'm sorry, for NRG in the back of A. Now these two players are just going for a couple of frags on the mid side, trying to catch a couple of players pivoting. Chemicals, nice flick. Dabs is now the last one remaining in a 1v5, and he's just done for.
That, you want to maybe try and grab an exit here or there, but no. Immortals forming this first map. I mean, it's not looking too hot right now if you're NRG. Granted, I think this is the map pick of NRG, so actually it's not good at all for NRG. Immortals are having such a slow start, I think, against TSM. They ended up losing 9-13. They are looking rock solid here on their defensive side. That Viper role, again, Rossi's playing such a great pivot role on both A and B. They're really working around that utility. And currently NRG, I don't know really how you can work past it, right? You need to try and bait out those toxins, run Rossi dry, and try and get an exit when that wall is down. But even then, in that post plan, you still have to place against that wall.
It's so tough, and again, this time you actually have NRG trying to improvise a little bit. 3-man mid take, which might just work out in their favor if they can go quick.
They're walking up as well. The wall is going to go down. They have a revive. They've got ultimates to work here, but it's up to Chemicals. They don't know. With the Seekers coming through B main, they surely think that everyone's coming from B main, and that's not the case. Daps is good for one, but Rossi, again, he's been rock solid, and he is trying to lock it down, but down he goes for a 4v3.
Okay, well done, but still the spike hasn't gone down, and Daps has to fight his way back in. 3 kills for Daps on the round. Finally has to go for the plant. The blade storm from JC Stani doesn't connect.
Timing.
And now Gangsta in the last person remaining, and a 1v3 gets flanked on from EU in NRG. Finally have another one back. But this time it had to come in from a little bit different of a plan, a little bit different of a path.
And it's all, I think it was the element of surprise. Immortals, specifically Chemicals, just really was not ready for Daps to come through there. They walked their way the entire way up, and I guess it's a small thing is that Immortals haven't really had to worry about that mid area. NRG were yet to challenge mid. The one round they decide to walk it up is the round they end up picking up. So there's kind of in the back of the mind now, I think, for Immortals, is that they could walk up mid, and you can see kind of a little bit more of a commitment here. Before, we were seeing Chemicals kind of just throw that wall up and just walk away from 2, but now he's stuck around a little bit, and Immortals, they're getting more adventurous. They are very aggressive down towards B, albeit this is going to be an A hit.
At least the anticipation for now. This could go a little bit awry, especially off that owl drone. Good pick down though, but they're just gonna explode off of it immediately.
Ooh.
JC Stani missing out on that first shot. Tex down on HP, but that's because of the Viper wall. Even then, Gangsta on the backside. There goes the Viper's pit off of that post plant. Still the plan gonna go actually really deep on EU. A little bit different of an approach, to say the least. Daps still playing up in that pit, takes down Gangsta. The rotation has come in quick for Immortals, but they just do not want to touch this angle at all. Tex playing around the Viper's pit, goes down to Rossi right through the cloud.
Oh, this is rough. This Viper's pit is really buying a lot of time for NRG. Android, he's stuck in the middle of it. He's only got 4 bullets, so if he goes down, you need to clear this quickly. Time is of the essence, and EU, you walk through your own Viper's wall and you meet the face of an enemy.
JC Stani and Chemicals, last 2 remaining. Chemicals looking evil up, almost gets the lineup, but Daps still alive. And you mentioned the low amount of bullets. He doesn't really need too many, just needs 1 for the headshot. NRG gonna catch a 3rd. JC Stani has to save this off.
I think it's good fine at this point for Immortals to save that operator. NRG, they're definitely packing on the heat, right? Even the rounds prior that Immortals won, maybe in the last 4, they were still taking heavy casualties. So in this last round, you wouldn't have had that operator. And even then, your buy is going to be very weak. We can already see Rossi kind of having to figure out what does he want to go for. JC Stani's elected to buy him. So it's a decent setup here for Immortals, but it's that slow deterioration. NRG have finally, I think, found a little bit more of their form. And thankfully, it's at the very tail end of this half where they can maybe salvage an 8-4 scoreline.
Keep up.
Comes down to this round, and Immortals, they're gonna be fighting for a couple of ult orbs, I would like to think. They're a little low in comparison to NRG, as Android early on not only gets the kill, but gets a showstopper back. Shot up does take down EU, but there goes the revival back in. The Hunter's Fury potential is still there. Chemicals now has that front line on top. Still trying to play pivot, but good combination off the double swing. And just like that, it turns into a disaster. Immortals now only down to a singular player. JC Stanny has been playing pivot in this back line a whole lot, and now he's just trying to run away. Run for the hills. Android with a 4K to end the half.
Ooh, there you go, NRG. A clean execution gives you a 4th round. That's exactly what you want going into the second half. After such a demoralizing start, down 7-1, down 8-2 at a certain point. It's looking good for NRG. Now I think they're on the favorite side. We saw the implications of what that Viper Wall could do. Well, now Daps can do the exact same. Immortals, they're the ones that have to fear. They're the ones that have to go against the Viper Wall and that double initiator. You got to work against those flashes, the Hunter's Fury, everything. So NRG, they salvaged what they could out of that hack. And I mean, honestly, this game, or this map at least, is not over. Despite how Immortals have been looking, NRG are bringing this one back.
Comes down to that pistol, although it's as stereotypical as you can get. It's tough though, right? Because NRG just needs as many excuses to get rounds as possible, and this is where it could start.
Oh, NRG, they're definitely taking a much more aggressive approach. Song is going to be right behind Android for that flash. It looks like Tex is kind of dancing around mid. Viper's well up on B, but it's all to sell. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Everyone on NRG has just pulled away from the A site.
JC Stanny jumping on top of Pipe. Same thing with a whole lot of his teammates. Android just has to keep his head on a swivel and has to be a human turret. It's not gonna happen though. Saw him in the back. Faces on an eye from close. Oh, from up close. But EU from up top with 2. There you go. Now Immortals not only down to a singular player. NRG has swept up that entire battle in one fell swoop. The take was looking good, but NRG's fast rotation gave him back the round.
Yeah, I think maybe as soon as you have that contact onto Android from Immortals, you need to go. Like, you need to be explosive. JC Stani was already up on pipes. He didn't make that commitment, and they lost so much time. Again, that Viper's Wall coming up, I think, really, really big to kind of split that attacking force. Immortals got caught off guard, and NRG, there's that start you were looking for. You said it. It's cliche, but hey, it is exactly what they needed. NRG up 5-8 here. They have at least the pistol round in the second half, so they are up technically. So we'll see what else they can do as it leaves Immortals back onto pistols. NRG sparing no credits as they're going to be looking for a full buy into the second round.
It's that same effect from the last round too, just the second half sweep up. Just be a little bit of a farm, but even then, okay. I do like the setup. I do like chemicals. The orb though. Yeah, there you go. And the snake bite, wonderfully done from Daps. Now the spike isn't going to be able to go down. The toxins are done, but Tex, Som, EU all fighting Gate, the last remaining. In Immortals that round, they were just looking for a quick plant, but simply didn't go out in their favor.
Yeah, very well done from Daps as well. He threw that poison orb kind of last second because I think he had it lined up for the front of B main on that kind of the stack, or I think it's the crate. He was waiting. He wanted to hear the footsteps. If it was going to be a rush, he would have thrown that poison orb right in front of the site, which he did. If he didn't hear the rush, he would have thrown it on top of that crate. So very well done from Daps. Great utility usage, and we even saw a slow orb come in. Those are the combos that NRG have been running, and it nets them around. So they are here 6-8, 2 rounds here in the second half. Immortals will have the buy back though. And it already looks like both walls being set up very early here on the B side to try and get some control, but ultimately it's NRG that are in the net positive as they take full control of B main, whether or not they know it.
Scout destroyed.
It's a little bit of a cut off of info because look at this A site. It's completely abandoned by NRG, just playing the back choke points more than anything. Android. Nobody in lane. Had to be shot up in an elevated position. Again, just taking this slow, just trying to go for a couple of picks. Might be efficient, but look at the lack of util just being used by Immortals at the moment. This is just going to help them so much off of post plants. All right, Tokyo Drift on the boom bot. JC standing still on the back, doing the same thing. Drifting away as he goes down to Tex. In comes the post plants. Most of the players are out and away from sight, just trying to play pivot around the middle box. This is good counter util this far. So Chemicals getting a kill. In comes the flank from Daps. Might find Chemicals. No, he doesn't. That was so important. And now EU and Psalm are last two remaining. And all the players from Immortals can just sit up top and wait for the contact. NRG drop their first round of the half.
Yeah, keep in mind though, that is NRG's bonus, so they didn't have the best guns. They didn't have everything they wanted in that round, but now they've got it. They're gonna have rifles, the majority of them at least, unfortunately. Looks like Tex. No, he'll be all good. We'll be able to get a drop. Immortals picking up the 9th, keeping most of their players alive, won't have to make any major reinvestments. So going into round number 4, we are gonna have a rifle v rifle round, which is important because this is the moment where if NRG can compete with the rifles in their hands, Immortals are gonna have a rough time in this second half, but it's the same thing. If Immortals can dominate once the rifles are in their hands, they kind of pull away. We're at that point, 9-6, you get to 10. It's just that snowball effect to the side of Immortals.
So I'm out. The Hound going over towards the mid side. Not going to be able to find anything just yet, but even then, I'm still thinking it's still taking things nice and slow. They do have the contingency plan early on in that round. I do like the fact that they set up the Viper wall on B. That is a decent bit of fake. It's not going to affect all too much. Shot up. Still taking down Tex early on. Nice shot from Android, but shot up from out of nowhere. Emerges from the backside to Android. Saw him still fighting up the tight angle, and shot up is just forming a 3K for him, as now they have a red carpet into the A site.
Yeah, spike down and everything. These last two players, Daps, he doesn't even have any util for this retake, and unfortunately, EU blindsided by JC Stani. It's just up to Daps, and they are hunting him. You want to pull this gun away, give him nothing to work with. Well, there you go again. Immortals only losing one player. They're making very minimal reinvestments, and now NRG, it's not looking too good. You're on an eco. You give Immortals almost a guaranteed 11th. That is, if you can't win it off the eco, who knows what could happen. So Immortals, they're starting to pull away with this first map, and unfortunately, I think NRG, if you don't put it into it here now, they're going to put it into you in map 1.
Again, this being the map pick of NRG, it just puts them in such a rough spot.
Right.
Immortals, I mean, what is considered one of their best maps, period, in their pool is coming up next.
Yeah, I don't know how you think about this if you're NRG. It's definitely a rough scenario to be in. However,
whoa,
there is a decent start. Okay, never mind. Shot up in gangster. They're gonna trade things right back. It was a little bit shaky, but things have definitely cleared up. Back to a 2v4.
It was something. Yeah, something. Daps is up to something. He's trying to get a couple of frags, but can't get one from long range. Nice headshot into Chemicals. But again, the Sheriff isn't exactly one-shot headshot, depending on the distance, so it feels a little bit bad. But that's the round, presumably back for Immortals. NRG. It's laying on Daps. 69 HP. Finally find shot up. All right. Slowing things down, at least at the very end of things. But again, it was just the eco round. This next one is the most important round for NRG thus far, though.
Yeah, exactly. This is the situation that I was foreshadowing the last, is that if once you give Immortals the 11th here, and you unfortunately, if you were to give them the 12th, you've got no credits. The lost bonuses and built up to the point where even if you were to lose a round, you can still buy following the next. So Immortals, this is a good situation to be put in, and if you're NRG, it's kind of cliche again. This is do or die, at least for map number 1. You have to win this round, otherwise it's an economic drought moving forward.
Immortals this time, playing more back towards their spawn. Nobody from NRG has really been approaching these back lines, though.
NRG, at the very start, they looked very aggressive, but I feel like with just Immortals' fragging power, they've kind of tempered them to be like, if you want to get aggressive, we're going to win the fights. Immortals are as well been not necessarily passive, but they've been very conservative when it comes to picking out where they want to take early fights, where they want to get early aggression. And it looks like here towards A, for these shots being fired, no damage dealt to anybody as JC Stani is able to creep forward. Shot up has created such a great distraction that JC Stani has got all of this space and a chance to open up even more.
Do like that angle, but he's not going to be able to pick up too much off of it. Shot up. elevated, takes down Som from the top rope. Speaking of the rope, he slides on, and he takes down here for the top 10 can. One last player remaining. That's in a 1v4. And the hope for NRG is starting to dwindle, but this next round could be quite the battle. Look at the amount of ultis. It's fully charged, but not exactly with the right firepower complementing it.
It's the same thing for Immortals, though. Only one off of Gangsta's Hunter's Fury, so...
Oh my god.
This is a position where you either use all 5 ults...
This is gonna be a war.
...and try and make it happen. I mean, you've got the Showstopper, you've got the Hunter's Fury. It's the same thing for the side of Immortals. They have the Hunter's Fury. Instead, they've got an Empress and a Blade Storm. This is a really tricky position to be put in if you're NRG. Last round, possibly. Like I said, this was do or die for them, and they're in that situation where this is the line. You need to win it. And Immortals, they're drawing a line here, but it's NRG that have drawn a big green cloud right in front of A main.
Get all of this control to nobody from Immortals wants to approach this just yet, but indeed they are. Free fire from JC Stanley. Doesn't have a line of sight. Dap's getting closer. JC still watching the angle. He can hear chemicals. Tex picking up some over towards that mid side. Just had to place a wall over it, so post plant potential could be a little bit neutered. But there goes Daps, made his way out of the cloud. No Immortals, even off of the revive. Okay, no, there you go. Even with the revive, was down to just 2 players, but now they're back up.
Wow.
Starting to get a little bit too slow now. 45 seconds left.
That's a heavy tag as well. Both Rossi and Chemicals on low HP.
That's so rough for Tex.
Yeah, he's gonna pass over the heal. Tex, unfortunately, gonna get gunned down. As Chemicals, they are slowing things down. 30 seconds left. There is no option towards A, at least for now, but everything has been committed. So many ults have been used just in this single round.
Gangsta needed that one. He was close to taking down Som.
Do you save here?
No, no way. No way. Just gotta go. They have a whole lot of economy, and they could still make this work. They still have the toxins. They placed it up. JC standing.
There's no time.
Taking down Som. They gotta go. No, they do. Just about 9 seconds left. But they have to place down the spike.
It's not there.
Oh no, it's way far away. It's way far away. You're absolutely right. I thought they had the spike on site, but no. Chemicals last remaining, and he's just gonna let time run out. Man, what was that from Immortals? Spending a little bit too much time trying to fight up that mid side. Still A was covered up by the pit, and man, chaos, really.
Dude, I thought for sure Chemicals was gonna make his routing through mid, but then he made like this last second hesitation to cancel back through the main, and at that point I was like, he doesn't have time, man. Immortals, that could have been the closer, but NRG, that's where those ultimates come into play. They've been able to stave off that round, but Gus, they used every single ultimate in that round. You saw how important that Viper's Pit was, and now they don't have that anymore to work with. This is where Immortals can maybe pull ahead. They themselves have their own Viper's Pit for a post plan, and now with no Viper's Pit here, they're going to take all this space up towards A main.
Right here.
And with the counter wall, but in comes Android. JC Standing actually wants to walk right through the Viper wall. Dab still takes him down. There goes that snake bite. That could be big to try to hold off the spike. Indeed, it does for just a quick second. But Rossi can just stay up in the pit. This is the same effect that their opponents had. But this time, we're looking at potentially Immortals with a post-play supremacy. But there goes the kill back onto Rossi. The pit is down. Chemicals and Gangsta, last 2 players remaining. Chemicals, he had an angle, but now Gangsta has to go big. Has the angle. 1v3. Has a couple of taps onto Daps. Daps can potentially get the frag, but the spike is not going down just yet. Tex makes his way on top, and NRG, they deflect back what has been biggest potential for Immortals to just hold this off. That Viper's Pit, purely because you had a player kind of sitting up in the middle, and it was Rossi fighting up a little bit too much, ended up giving back NRG the round. Wow.
What a huge kill from Som to flash and immediately drop in, and to have one of his teammates gun down the Sage Wall as well to give him an opening, whether it faded or they just finished it off. Huge kill from Som to clear out Daps, and then everything comes cascading down. No more Viper's Pit. Everything is so open. You've got the numbers advantage. You've got the lead. You got leverage as well into the site. It's a simple mop up there for NRG. They do pick up an 8th, and once more, we keep on going. Immortals, they will have one more buy to work with, but a lot of their players are taking heavy hits economically that we're at a point in time where NRG, you win 1 or 2 more rounds, you definitely could pull this back to possibly OT. Now, that's a little far-fetched.
It's a little bit, but at least focusing back on the round, I just want to think about what would be the approach for Immortals, how they can even spice it up, because they still have the early splits, not exactly default, but at least split discipline. A couple players back towards the A main area. They still have eyes in mid, eyes in B main, but they're not exactly being proactive. Like I said, nobody from NRG wants to fight these early frags.
And Daps as well leaning to this B side. That means they're going to have no wall here on the left if they want to make the entry. But I don't think they're committed here. Or apologies, not Daps, Rossi. I don't think they're committed to this A side just because Daps hasn't thrown that wall up. But now they're picking up the spike, making a slow move. There is no opportunity here for any early picks from NRG. But the rotations are starting to come in, so they can present themselves. Wall is up. Now it goes down. Immortals, we need to act quick, and there's an opening that they were looking for.
Okay, that's big. JC Stanny still wants to fight, though, just around the corner. He has Dabs in the corner. Big for JC Stanny, and he's still going for more. He's just holding W, and he's knocking them all down like bowling pins. This could be Immortals now, but Tex, that is big. Slowing down the momentum. Still the spike. Down in the very middle. No ultis to hold this back just yet. Android Tex taking their time. There goes that wall. They have to wide swing it to try to fight it. Android on a pivot, getting too good.
He's sticking.
Chemicals doesn't have an angle.
Oh!
No! Tex gets off and he wide swings. NRG are still alive.
Oh my goodness, NRG. That is an insane clutch. I actually can't believe they pulled that retake back. Tex went huge. Same thing with Android. When you need your duels to click, dude, Android popped off. Same thing with Tex. Very well played to NRG. Immortals, that was the closer. They had 2 snake bites. They had a shock dart. They had a man advantage and a huge NG from JC Stani. That is a huge round to let go. And now the effect of Immortals, they're feeling the economic heat. They're losing rounds back to back to back, and next thing you know, they might have no cash here soon. All NRG need is one more round, and Immortals, they will be broken.
Well, potentially so. Potentially so. Immortals, and their economy has been building for such a long time. They had a massive win streak, and it has still allowed them to have very optimal amount of cash.
Yeah, I realize
so they're most likely going to be fine for the next 2 rounds. So NRG, they still have to fight the gauntlet, which they've done it already. They've been chipping away bit by bit. I don't really see how NRG could actually deflect this one off at about the 11-12 score line. That's where things could start to get a little bit fun for them.
Android, here's a nice change of pace. You can see the confidence from NRG. They are a team that strives off of it, and Android, no way he's gonna get more, maybe even another, but Sam is thankfully there to accompany him, and that's such an early shutdown. NRG, this has to be a 10th. 2 players left. It's Stani and Rossi. Wall has already been used, so the commitment has to be towards A. The Trailblazer out. NRG staring at double digits, and what a recovery this has been in the second half.
Rossi and JC standing. Still alive, though. That revival might just get stunted. We put them 6 feet under, but let's see it. Rossi sitting on top of pipes. He's playing up verticality with JC. Still NRG being a little bit more disciplined. Tex inching forward, and that just might be the stamp on the rounds. Rossi with just about 45 seconds left. Not much to work with. He still has a snake bite, but in goes Sam for the kill. 10-12. Finally reaching double digits for NRG. And like I mentioned before, Sully, this is it. NRG wins this round, and they effectively reset the economy of Immortals.
This is a rough position to be in if you're Immortals. What a game from NRG. This is what we expected. 2 teams that have been firing off lately to have a close game. At a certain point, I honestly thought this game could have been over when that Viper spin went down, Gus. It's actually crazy to think that that crazy retake from Sam to find the first really brought us to this point, and then that crazy retake from both Tex and Android. This is one heck of that first map right now, and Immortals, they got to turn up the heat here. Like you said, they lose this round, the economy is going to be broken, and Android, dude, he is feeling confident now. That early peak, that early showstopper, and now we see her again towards B main. They're going to leave him here to sit, and they're going to stack back towards A. The best thing here, though, for Immortals, they haven't used that Viper as well. There's no commitment to a site, and they can easily cancel back to A if they do so choose.
Android, the spot is big. It's cheesy. It could just be a one and done, and indeed it is. Chemicals takes him back immediately.
You
Still
will
have the
not
effects.
kill my ally.
A little bit of util on site, and there goes the revive. Max does have one though. You'll have to come big a little bit later off
No
the
way.
plant. Saw him going through.
Oh,
He just
oh!
walked through the spike. Wait, Chemicals just still going for it. Gangsta and JC standing, hold it back. No way. That is just so unfortunate. EU and Taps, not the last two remaining.
Standing ahead.
Don't have to hold back with a whole lot. Nice flick from EU. Still that recon bolt around the corner. Knows that there's at least one in yellow box. Checking around the corner. Rossi takes him down. Daps now in a 1v4. Takes down Rossi. Can't exactly heals at 12 HP. A shot to the body from Chemicals and Immortals. They dodge